out. Okay, and I'll just let people in as we get started. So happy Sunday, everyone. I am really, really excited for tonight because Chelsey doesn't know this. So I actually approached her at the 10-year anniversary because she doesn't realize how impactful her story is. Was for me in my journey. And so I actually went and looked up this video because I have sent it out to so many people since the first time I saw it. And it was October 10th, 2018. And at the time, I thought she went 200K, but I think she went millionaire. And the video was called Pre-Approved, and it was in her team page. Somebody had added me to her team page. And it was just so good. I'm not going to go too much into it because it's part of her story and I want her to tell her story. But a huge part of it was just at that time I was going through, my dad not like just a lot of people, family members, like not supporting me in this business. They thought that we were crazy. They said it was a scam, MLM. You guys know how it is. And I came across her live and it was called Pre-Approved, and she was talking about how it was such a big day for her and the people she wanted to hear from, she didn't hear from. And it just was just a really impactful live. And after that, I would send it to people who would come to me with the same feelings. So I'm just going to go ahead and let her tell her story. And we're recording. And Chelsey, go ahead, introduce yourself and take it away.
Hey, well, thank you. First off, thank you so much for having me. And I'm so glad I got to hug your neck at the 10-year reunion. And you tell me that because it did mean a lot. I mean, we don't realize how our stories can impact people. And so that is one reason, y'all, it is so important to be real and raw 24/7 and share your story and put it out there. Don't pretend like everything is, sunshine and rainbows and unicorns in this business, because we all know it is not. And so you should always be real and raw. Someone needs to hear that. Someone needs to hear your story. And yes, that's true. I have almost been thriving now for 9 years, which sounds crazy. In February, it will be 9 years for me. When I started thriving, I had a 2-year-old little boy and about a 6-7-month-old little boy. So I just basically had 2 under 2, and I was on the struggle bus. I told this part of my story because it's important for us as promoters to know that I had tried a sample of Thrive about 3 months prior to actually becoming a Thrive promoter. The person that sampled me did not check up on me, did not work with me on how to take the products. I sampled incorrectly. I did not love Thrive, did not think it was for me. And then about 3 months later, one of my good friends that I trusted started thriving, and she was feeling amazing. She was had actually clicked the promoter button and was hitting her VIPs, right? So she was super excited. I tried to tell her, I put my skeptic pants on, tried to tell her it's not for me. I don't want it. Thank you. I'm so proud of you. All the things that some of us on here, I'm sure, have said, not for me, but good for you. But she realized that I didn't take it correctly, and she asked me to trust her and try it again for a second time. And I am so thankful every single day that I did. God definitely knew what he was doing. I feel like that is a big part of, if you were on this team, you were on this team for a reason. And I'll tell you that because had I loved my first sample, I probably would not have been successful with this business under that brand promoter. And so I feel like God knew what he was doing, letting me fall in love with it the second time, because my upline was absolutely amazing. She was a close friend of mine. She helped me every single step of the way. And that is so very important in this business. Your upline support is so important. I tell people all the time, when I was pregnant, you read the baby books, right? And you're like, okay, I can do this. I can be a mom. And then they hand you that baby and they're like, here, keep this thing alive. And I'm like, wait, what? What do you want me to do with this? And you're like, Mom, grandma, help out, so that's what we are as uplines. I tell people all the time, I'm like, I'm just your grandma. I think Christy Mumpower, I saw her hop on. I told all them that this weekend. I'm like, I'm just your grandma. I'm your Thrive grandma. Um, but it's true. So my upline helped me a ton. I will tell you guys, was it easy? No. Did I know what I was doing? Not at all. I have never done a business like this. I am not a salesman. I was a stay-at-home mama. We live in the middle of nowhere, on the edge of West Texas. I didn't see people, literally didn't see people all day. So my big excuse to my upline was, who in the heck am I going to sell vitamins to? Because I don't know anyone. I don't see anyone. And she said, you don't have to sell them. You just share. You share with your mom. You share with your friends. You share with your family. And so that's what I started doing. I didn't know what I was doing, but I just started reaching out to people. Like, I tell people I was ignorance on fire. I'm like, do you need Thrive? You need Thrive. You need Thrive. I don't know what it's going to do for you, but you need it. And so I did. And I would get them on the phone with my upline. I would let her do all the talking. And so we grew very, very, very quickly. Like Q said at the beginning, one of the things that I talked about on, when I did hit Lavelle Millionaire, was not everybody's going to support you in this business. I don't know if I shared this story about my husband, but y'all, I signed up in February of 2014. Okay. And we hit 4K my first month, 12K my second month. So I qualified for the first ever Lavelle Cabo trip. And I was so excited. I had never been out of the country. I had never done anything like that. I was so pumped. Bought our plane tickets. Mind you, my husband was not taking the products. Okay. Luke did not. He was like, that's good for you, but I like my GNC stuff. He was a big GNC guy. He worked out a lot. He was great that, he was happy that Thrive was helping me. He just didn't think that he needed it. So my husband is not on the products. We are sitting on the plane, fixing to take off to go to Cabo, to the first lifestyle getaway there. He looks at me and says, and I quote, I hope you kissed your babies goodbye. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, this isn't real. They're about to drop us off in the middle of nowhere in Mexico. This isn't real. I don't believe in any of this. Y'all, he's telling me this as I'm strapped in my seat on the plane, like we're leaving. I'm like, why would you say that? Why would you say that to me right now? Y'all, we get there and it's amazing. Of course, it was all inclusive. It was, if you have not been on a lifestyle getaway yet, get to a lifestyle getaway. They are so amazing. But we got there. He got to meet other Thrivers. He got to hear other stories. He heard Paul and Jason speak on the beach that night. He got to see and hear the vision of where this company was going and that it was going there with or without us. And so we could hop on that board and go or not. And we left the gathering that night and we're walking back to the hotel room and he's like, so you got any of that men's stuff? I'm like, oh no, buddy. After what you said to me, you're not getting any Thrive until we get back to the United States. And so he has been a Thriver since that day, y'all. In May 2014, he takes more products than I do, y'all. Like, we have all the plus lines because Luke has to have all the plus lines too. But I will tell you guys, the small town girl, middle of nowhere, West Texas, didn't know anybody, all the excuses, right? I was bound and determined to prove people wrong because, like Q said, like, I had those people too that didn't believe in me. Y'all, I've almost been doing this 9 years. My mother-in-law doesn't take Thrive. My father-in-law doesn't take Thrive. Not one person in my husband's family takes Thrive. My brother doesn't take Thrive. I have done all the things that you can possibly do with this company, reached all the mountains, right? They don't take it. It's okay. It's not for them. That's fine with me. And it took me a really, really long time, y'all, to be okay with that. It did, because when you grow up with those people, or those people are your blood, your friends, those are your people, right? And they don't support you in this, or they don't, maybe they support you, but they won't take it. And you're like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. It hurts your heart, right? It does. Because when you know that something, has changed your life this much, it does hurt your heart when they don't participate in that, right? And you know what it can do for them. We hear the stories every single day, and I've told them a million times. I'm telling you, if you would just take, no, not for me. It took me a really long time to get over that, y'all. It really, really did. And Jesus has really worked on my heart with this business, because he just has, and it's my journey. And no one can take away my story at the end of the day. No one can take away Luke's story. No one can take away my mom's story, the ones that are thriving with me. Nobody can take away that. So no amount of no's out there can take those real stories and real life changing moments away from us. So yes, no, it is not always rainbows and sunshine, but be real, be raw. Q, you may have some more questions for me. That's pretty much my story.
So I do have a question. So I know that you, hold on one second. Let me let Kelly in. What would you say the hardest part of your journey was I'll say even you grew very fast, right? And sometimes when people grow very fast, they get in that, like Tommy calls it the 90-day, like, was it the first 90 days, Tommy, the 90-day slump? Like, one, what was your hardest part of your journey? And two, did you go through that time where you grew really fast and then you're like, oh my gosh, I've talked to everybody, I don't know what to do now? Like, did you go through that 90-day slump?
Yes. Honestly, I think the hardest part for me on this journey, 1 month in, 2 months in, almost 9 years in, is for me to have people give up on themselves too quickly. We did grow quickly, and so we busted out a lot of 4Ks quickly, or we busted a lot of 12Ks quickly. And it's hard, especially when you're growing quickly. It's hard to keep up with everyone and give every single person the same amount of attention that you give. You're trying to give everybody attention, but you're also trying to give your family attention and your personal, all the things. But I feel like that is what makes me absolutely sick as a leader in this company, is to watch people give up on themselves too quickly and to walk away from this when I know what they can do. I know their potential. I know how many lives they could change. I know they need this. I know their why, and I know those things. And so you take all of that to heart. And I feel like that is the hardest thing for me is, just because someone does not hit their VIP 800, that doesn't mean that you can't go hit 200K. I mean, that's the thing. I have had some, 40Ks and 80Ks that missed their VIPs, y'all. And then I've had people that hit their VIPs and went 4K in like 10 days, and then they stopped. I've had both ends. And so that is what I think has been the hardest on my journey, is everybody's journey is different. Everybody's time on getting these hills and valleys, right? But people giving up on themselves too quickly is the hardest thing for me, and not staying consistent and not sticking with it when you know that if they just did, like if they had just hung in a little bit longer, or they had just reached out, you're just one person away, in this business, Phil, you're literally one person away from a whole different life, and you never know when that next person, when you're going to meet them. It could be tomorrow, it could be 2 weeks from now, it could be 2 years from now. But if you didn't stick with it for that 2 years, you'll never know, and your life may not be changed. You know what I mean? And so that, I feel like, is the hardest. And I've seen it, y'all. I've seen new brand promoters come into my business this year, year 8, that are doing big things. And if I had not stuck with it, one, I would not have gotten to change their life with the products, so they wouldn't feel amazing. And then they would not have the opportunity to change a million lives, y'all, because what we have in our hands is stinking solid gold. And in my mind, if I can be God, like Jesus's hands and feet with these products and answer prayers for people that are praying, that are in the same spot that I was in almost 9 years ago, y'all, I was praying every night. Like, please, Lord, please give me something. Could he have answered that prayer in a million other ways than vitamins? Yeah, I know my Jesus. Like, yes, he could have. Yes, he could have. But this is what he picked for me. And so I'm going to like do it to my fullest capacity and do my best at it and never stop, because I know he answered that prayer for me. And I know there's a whole lot of people out there praying just like I was.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Christy asked, not seeing many people, how, they move. Not seeing many people, how did you grow so fast? Calling these people and just totally reaching out saying you need Thrive. So she wants to know how you grew so fast, not knowing anybody and living in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, so one thing that I saw as a downfall, but I had to shift my mindset, was when I started Thriving, there were already, and this was new, y'all. I mean, like Lavelle had just come out and it was, just rolled out of 13 into 2014. So the products were still new, the company was still new. But I already had 3 auto bonus earners in my hometown. And y'all, we have a tiny town. And so I thought, holy cow, how can I be different? Like, how am I going to do that? Everyone in our town already knows these 3 are thriving and these 3 are successful with it. So I've got to think outside of the box here. And so I started trying to reach out to anyone and everyone that was outside of my town. I tried to reach out to people, anyone and everyone that I had gone to high school with that had moved away, that I had met in college that lived in different states, different areas now. Everybody was living a different life. People that I had met at like camps as a kid and, stayed connected with on social media. I literally just made a list of people that were outside of my hometown. Now, I did start promoting on social media. So my friends that were in my hometown, I did, y'all, that's the thing, is so many people, there may be a lot of thrivers around you already, and you feel like everybody around me already knows about it, yada, yada, yada. There are people that will not thrive with other people. There are people that are waiting for you. They trust you. They want to hear your story. And they believe in you, not the products you're selling. They believe in you. And so that is why we have to stay consistent on social media, and we have to do our reach outs to our personal people that we have personal connections with, because guess what? I can't reach out to them for you. Q knows people that I will never, ever, ever know. If I could reach out to them for her, I would, but I can't. And that's the thing. I think I saw Kelly on here earlier. It was the same thing with her. Like, I had a friend. So Kelly was one of the ones that I knew needed this. She did not live in my hometown. We had babies about the same time. She was a tired, exhausted mama, just like me. I showed her my Thrive story. I did not necessarily reach out to her and say, would you like to thrive? I lived my Thrive life out loud. She saw a change in me. She asked me what I was doing, and then I told her. So that is very, very important too. Yes, I did send messages. Yes, I did pick up the phone and get them on the phone. I did all the things. But with her, it was that personal connection, and I had to show her how good I felt from the inside out. Then, but it's the same thing. Like, I knew Kelly knew a million people, but I couldn't reach out to those people for her. And so Kelly still laughs about this story, but I told her one time, I'm like, hey, can you send me your contact list? Because y'all, she got to 4K, and Kelly was the happiest little 4K I've ever had. Like, she was the sweetest, most precious little 4K. And she was so proud to be 4K. And I was proud of her to be a 4K. But I knew she was really a 200K. And so I said, hey, send me your contact list. And she was like, okay, why? And I said, because if you don't reach out to those people, I'm going to. Because I said, here's the thing, Kel, everybody's going to hear about this. Everybody's going to know about Thrive. Everybody's going to be on Thrive eventually. And I want them thriving under us. I want them thriving under me, not anybody else. And if you don't reach out to them, I'm going to reach out to them. And she was like, oh, well, you're not getting my people, because then it was a challenge. And I'm like, get on the phone, girl, let's do this. And she did. I mean, y'all, she went like 80K, 200K in no time. I mean, rock star. But it was just shifting that mindset of you have that personal connection with your people. Okay. Nobody else does. And they might not thrive under anybody else but you, but they're waiting for you to make that reach out, or they're waiting for you to show them, you to live your Thrive life out loud, and being real and raw, and they're waiting on you.
So with you starting back in 2014, how has things changed for you as far as promoting? Because I feel like back then, because I remember when I started, everything was about phone calls, three-way calls,
Yes.
calling people, reaching out. I mean, I remember when I first started, they wanted me to download an app called A to Z. They're like, download the app A to Z, get all the people in your contacts, send out messages. So how has that shifted for you running your business? Like, has your business changed tremendously since social selling is such a huge thing now, or has it pretty much stayed the same? Do you see where things have changed for you at all?
It definitely does look different. Zooms were not a thing when first of all, let me talk about how much the company has changed. Like, y'all, when I started, we had capsules, we had vanilla lifestyle mix, and we had just launched DFT. Oh, sorry, I'm getting an Amber Alert, y'all. Oh, can y'all hear me? Sorry, I'm like, hold on, Amber Alert. Hope the child's okay. Yes, things have changed. So, y'all, I was selling the Thrive experience. I was selling capsules, vanilla lifestyle mix, and a DFT. Okay. Do y'all know how many people don't like vanilla? Like, really? Like, do y'all even know how many people don't like the vanilla shake? I mean, I love the vanilla shake. I think it's so versatile. It can go, you can make it a million different ways. But y'all, when I started, like I said, I had 3 things. And some people couldn't do the DFT, and some people couldn't do, it was just like, well, this is it. This is the Thrive experience. So the fact that we have, I have gotten people this year, y'all, that signed up just for the detox. I mean, just for detox. And then it's like they do the detox and then they want to get on the Thrive system. So the fact that we have like a plethora of Thrive products that you can get people started on. We have 1 million plus lines now. We have all the things. So many people see that as a negative. They're like, we've got too much stuff. And I'm like, no. No, we don't. Because I'm telling you, it was hard. It was a hard sell at first, especially 2014, y'all. That was kind of on the edge of the fitness lifestyle change movement, if you will. That was really kind of on the edge of when people really started working out, and gyms got really popular, and all the different types of like CrossFit popped up, and all the different kinds of things started popping up because people started really investing in their health and working on their health. So 1, I love all of our products, but 2, as far as business wise, I think I guess as a team, it's a little bit different because, like you said, we did the 3-way calls all the time. I feel like now we use like messenger chats a lot more, voice memos. That is used a whole lot more now. Obviously, Zooms were not a thing. We were literally, you can ask Kelly. We were doing 10 to 15 3-way calls a day. We would just do one back to back, like pretty much in 30-minute intervals, like give yourself time to run to the bathroom, eat a sandwich, and do a different 3-way call. And that's how it was. Like we just did. We wanted people to hear the passion in our voice, because there is nothing like that. In that third-party validation, I still love 3-way calls, y'all. I'm a huge 3-way call fan. I know there's a lot of people out there that love the voice memos and love the messaging and all the things, but I love that no one, on a three-way call, no one can see your face. They can't judge you on what you're wearing. They can't be like, oh, that girl's hair is terrible. And why is she wearing a baseball cap with a C on it? And oh, she's in an Escalade, so she must have it made. You know what I mean? Like you can literally see my car. You can see all the things, and you can judge. You can judge me. And with a three-way call, that's not there. They don't know what I look like. They don't know what my house looks like. They don't know, anything about me. They hear the passion in my voice, and I'm that third party validation for what their friend has already been saying. And so I actually love three-way calls, but yes, it has changed. But really, y'all, my promoting has not changed that much because I've stayed consistent, whether that was I had to learn Instagram. I'm trying to learn TikTok. Y'all, I'm not a social media guru. I'm not. Kelly, I'm sure she may have hopped off, but she's probably dying laughing right now. Y'all, I'm terrible with technology. So if I can do this business with technology, anyone on here can do this business with technology, but I'm terrible, but I'm trying real hard. But yes, I've tried to learn the new social media avenues, but still, even with that, y'all, all I can say is as long as you're showing up consistently, your business will continue to grow. Maybe it's not growing as fast as you think it should, but it's still going to grow if you stay consistent. Doing something every single day is going to get you to where you want to be. Doing nothing consistently every single day is never going to get you to where you want to be. This can be, you guys can make this business whatever you want it to be, but at the end of the day, you have to make it. Like I said, I can't reach out to those people for you. Q can't reach out to those people for you. At the end of the day, you have to look yourself in the mirror, and I had to do it too. Because there were times when I would go down in the little valley. I love the hills, right? But I'd go down in the little valley and I'm like, oh, what, pity party me, what's going on? And I had to check myself in the mirror and be like, you're not reaching out to people. You're not sharing. Who did you talk to today? Who did you get on the phone today? You went in the grocery store and that girl asked you about your DFT and you were too busy to tell her about it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's on me. At the end of the day, it is on me. And I haven't created it. If somebody is not in my VIP bonus period, then that means I haven't created a new story. I haven't sampled someone, or I haven't reached out to someone, and I haven't created a new story. And that's the only reason no one's in my VIP bonus period right now.
It's so funny. I told them we have a Saturday team Zoom, and I told them, I was like, pick up the phone. You don't have to wait for someone to text you back. Like, just pick up the phone and call someone. They'll be so shocked to hear your voice anyway. And just tell them straight up, like, hear me out. This is what I think. So that's so funny you say that. So I have two more questions, actually three, really quick. Can we rewind back to your husband not supporting you and the GNC thing, right? Because I feel like sometimes when they don't have a spousal support, it's almost like they're trying to convince them rather than just showing them. So did you go through that period where you tried to convince your spouse to do Thrive, or did you just say, I'm doing this whether you like it or not? And did he ever kind of have a rebuttal with you doing the business side? Like, did he say, like, don't do it? And if so, why did you do it anyway?
Okay. So I did it anyway because I said, you need the products. I don't need them. I even got his men's GNC multivitamin, and we compared the ingredients. I mean, we straight up compared the ingredients in the back, and I'm like, this is better. See, and still I'm telling you, it was the trip for him that got him. But what got my husband was, and he was seeing the checks roll in. He was seeing them. And I was a stay-at-home mom. Like I said, we had one income. And he was like, oh, that's good. That's good for you. Still. But he would come home, y'all, and he was exhausted. He would go straight to the couch and lay down. And he had, like I said, he had taken his men's vitamins. He had worked out, whatever. I was still going. I was still doing. I was feeling amazing. I was playing with the boys. And I'm like, you're missing out, dude. We had to have a heart to heart, about the products. We had to have a heart to heart. And I'm like, you're missing out. you're missing out on your babies. And so once he did get on the products, yes, he saw a difference in that, and he could keep up with the kids, and that was a huge game changer. But as far as the business, I will be very real and raw with you. It was hard, like, because he would work all day and he would come home, you know, at 5, 6 o'clock, and would expect dinner to be ready. And, you know, like, because that's what I did. And I might have a 3-way call at 6 o'clock. And I'm like, hey, you got to watch the boys. I've got a 3-way call, you know, or Paul and Jason want us to get on this. Paul and Jason used to get on phone calls at least 2 to 3 times a week. And those phone calls pumped me up, y'all. Like, I was jacked. I felt like I was Superwoman and I could do anything in the world when I got on those. And so I would get off and I would be like, yeah, you know, and Lucas like, what's wrong with you? Because he didn't hear it. But it was hard because he felt like, you know, I was given a lot of time to everybody else, and not my marriage, and not, you know what I mean? And so, but I started letting him listen to some of those 3-way calls, and letting him listen to these women crying, telling me how good they felt, and crying, letting him, you know. And so, yes, it was hard. Scheduling was the biggest challenge for us. And I encourage everybody to have that conversation and make sure that your schedules line up. Like, the problem Luke had was I would kind of throw calls on him and be like, I've got to call at this time. I've got to call at this time. And he's like, I didn't know, you know. And so once I had kind of a schedule and like, okay, I can do calls from this time to this time, and he knew that, and it was kind of a blocked off schedule, that helped a ton, y'all, because then I was respecting his time so he could respect my time. And he was more apt to helping out with the boys. But the thing about it is we had to have a sit down conversation, like a big time conversation. And I said, Luke, you're missing the boys. I know you're missing out on this. He hated his job. He came home griping every single day about his job. And so I looked at him and I said, I think I can do this. And he was like, I know you think you can. No, I'm like, no. I can really do this. And I'm going to do this. And I'm going to show every single person that doubts me I can do this. And you're coming home. You're not working there anymore. You're not working these crazy hours. You're not missing out on our children. Y'all, he missed so much of our oldest child's life. It makes me sick. When he left his job, he has seen every moment of our 3rd and 4th. We have 4 little boys. He's seen every step, every ounce of our 4th child's life. He hasn't missed one moment. And that is worth it every single day to me. And I will share these products every single day for him to be able to be present in our child's lives every single moment. And I know that that's not every person's ideal dream. I know there are people out there that love their job and they don't want to quit their job and they don't want to be a stay-at-home parent, and that's okay. But that's what we wanted, and that was our desire with this, is to be able to not miss out on anything those boys did. And I will edit to add, y'all, he worked for his dad. So imagine how that was for a big company, for me to bring him home and have him quit working for his own family business was kind of a big deal. Do you think that there were tension at Thanksgiving and tension at Christmas? Yes, there was. But I've been doing this for 9 years. Like I said, his family doesn't take the products. They never will. And that's fine. At one point, his father sat him down and told him that he needed to be the breadwinner and I needed to quit doing Lavelle because it looked bad that I made all the money in the family and Luke didn't. Yes, that conversation was had. And I'll be very honest with you, Luke showed him my 1099 from Lavelle and said, when you can match this, I'll tell her to stop. And he's never said another word, y'all. Never. So yes, it was hard at first. Have the conversations, have the schedules, and make it work, because you can make it work big time.
Do you believe in in-person events before I ask you this question blindly?
Do I believe in in-person events?
Yeah, like locals.
I like locals. I love living room locals.
Okay,
I
so
love personal.
yes, so that's what I wanted to know. Okay, so can you just talk about the magic of getting people in a room versus social media?
Oh, there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. I mean, that's like saying, would you rather watch a wedding on TV or go to someone's wedding and see the passion and the magic and the love, and you know what I mean? Like it's not comparable at all. You could send someone all the videos, you could tag them in a million stories on the fan page, you could do all the things through social media, and it will never, ever, ever compare to getting someone in a room. I don't care if it's 3 people or in a living room and you're just hearing the 3 people's stories. There's nothing like that to really hear it in someone's voice and to see the tears, because I don't know how many locals, how many small events or big events y'all been to, but I mean, I feel like someone cries, at least one person cries at every single local, because it's true. And like, you would miss that on social media. You miss that. You would miss hearing. It's the difference in hearing this right now versus reading a text on your phone. It's like, but like, she's saying this, how is she saying this? Is she saying this like rude, or is she saying this like sweet, or is she like crying when she says, like, you can't relay emotions through text, through social media. And so getting in that room and hearing real stories, no matter how big, how small, no matter whether there's 10 people or 20 people, doesn't matter. Hearing those stories, and like I said, I love big locals. I do. I think they're great, but I love meeting a few thrivers for lunch, or a living room local, or a backyard barbecue, or whatever it is. That's my jam. That's what I love.
And this wasn't a question until you just brought this up, but since they have already announced Thrive Palooza, can you just talk about the magic of Thrive Palooza?
Oh, I could talk for a long time about the magic of Thrive Palooza. Y'all, it's just like a battery recharge for thrivers that have been thriving. It's where we go to literally plug our battery in and be charged and leave so filled. For new people, I encourage you guys to get as many new people. I don't care if they've even tried a sample of Thrive. Get them there. One of my most favorite ones was our very first one. I think I was a 40K maybe at the first one I went to. And Kelly and I we split a hotel room, y'all, and we fit like 10 girls. I mean, probably illegally, like we would have been kicked out of the hotel if they had known. We had them bring their sleeping bags, and we had pallets in the floor, and we brought as many people as we could to get there. There were girls, Kelly invited people, like I said, that hadn't even sampled. She brought sample packs and told them, you get a sample pack when you come to Thrive Palooza. Like, I've got a hotel room, come, I bought your ticket, all the things. They came, y'all. Do you know how many 4Ks and 12Ks we busted out after that Thrive Palooza? Holy cow. Because there's nothing like it. Like, it is insane. It is magical. It is y'all, you see, thrivers are happy. Thrivers are fun people. So when you surround someone with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of happy people, like, they can't help but be like, there's something to this. Like, I don't know what you guys are doing, but there's something to this. Like, I want this. I want to feel like this. And so I encourage you not only to get there yourself, but bring people that need this. Just tell them, hey, trust me and come with me. Just come to support me. Whatever you got to tell them, get them there.
I promise just 2 more questions, really, really quick. Only because it just made me think of this. You have 4 boys. How do you balance this business and being a mom? because I feel like sometimes people, there is no balance. I'm sorry, I have 4 kids too. There's really no balance, but I feel like sometimes people have that like mom guilt, and then they're trying to work this business to hit a goal. Especially this is the last month of rank advancements. Like, can you just talk about, like, did you ever struggle with that, having that guilt of where your time is spent as far as business and the kids, or how
Girl,
you
I'm
manage
struggling
that?
with that right now. I mean, my kid's playing in a championship game right over here, and like literally videos are coming through. I'm sure he just scored a home run or something. I don't know, but literally, like the other moms are sending me the videos of my kid right now while I'm chatting with you guys. So yeah, I mean, of course that's not going to go away. There is no, yes, you're going to have mom guilt. Okay, number one though, like let's be real, we're all good moms. So tell the enemy to take a hike, because that is who's giving you the guilt, because God does not give you the spirit of fear. God does not put guilt on your heart. So if you're feeling guilty about anything, that's the enemy trying to attack you. And if he's making you want to quit or step away from doing something like this, that means you're about to change a whole lot of lives and he doesn't want you to. And I'm sorry, I'm like preaching, but like you're about to do some big, big things and he doesn't want you to. So tell him to take a hike, because you are a good mom. You are, or you wouldn't be doing this business. You wouldn't be working so hard for a future for your babies if you weren't a good mom. And yeah, I'm missing his game. I watched 4 games today, guys. I didn't miss one of them, not for a call, not for anything. So yeah, I'm missing this one, but I've got all these mamas. It's on tape. I can watch it again, y'all. And the thing about it is, I don't miss anything this kid does pretty much for the rest of the day, because I thrive, because we have created this lifestyle and these opportunities. I get to go eat lunch with him every day. I get to pick him up from school every day. Every day. Okay. I don't have to try to take him to a babysitter. I don't have to find someone else to get my kids from school. I don't have to. If I can't get them, guess who can? My husband, because he's home too, because we created this life. So, but yes, of course there's mom guilt. But like I said, you tell the enemy to get out of here. And my babies know. They're like, another Zoom. And I'm like, yeah, you want that baseball bat for Christmas? Yeah, that's what I thought. And they're like, oh yeah, go get on the Zoom. You know what I mean? But it is. But that's just it, y'all. It's that way about anything. If you had any job and you were away from your babies, you would have mom guilt. Any job. But this one allows you to be with them pretty much any other time of the day, right? Besides that time you had to go do a call, or you had to, go to an event one night, but you don't miss anything else they do. They're watching and they know. And my kids have learned. I mean, like I said, I started doing this, y'all, when I had a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. My oldest is fixing me 12. You don't think he is like a Thrive baby? He's like, yeah, mom's got to go. Mom's changing lives. Y'all, I mean, I got featured in a magazine this past wherever we were, Mexico. And I got to come home and my kids are telling everybody at school. Their teacher literally called me dying laughing, saying, your kids are telling everybody that you're in a magazine, and they didn't believe them. And so they're like, yeah, I'm bringing it to school tomorrow. What's up? You know what I mean? Like, guys, and they're proud of you. Your kids are watching and they're proud of you, and they are your biggest fans. So don't let that guilt get to you, because that's just the enemy. Tell him to take a hike.
I love that. I love that answer. Okay, last question. What was the time or moment in this business where you stopped and said, I can't believe this is my life?
Oh gosh, I've said that too many times, girl. I said that I've almost done this 9 years, and I said it when they put me in a dadgum magazine. I'm like, I'm in a magazine? Like, what? Yeah, I mean, 9 years in. No, I mean, I said it when I got my first car, when I hit 12K and I got a luxury vehicle, and I'm like, how, this is real life? And then I hit 200K, I bawled like a baby in 6 months. I had 200K in 6, like I bawled. Millionaire in 5 years, like millionaire, what? I was doing this for a box of diapers. You know what I mean? Like that, there's been way too many moments that, I mean, I honestly, one of the best moments ever for me was when someone underneath me hit 12K for the first time. Those are still my favorite moments, and to hear the joy in somebody else's voice on on their life being forever changed. That's when every time I have this, God, is this real? Like, is this real life, God? Because I don't think this is real. Like I have that moment daily.
All right, guys. Nobody has any questions before I let her go watch her baby play baseball, right? Is it baseball? Is it baseball?
It's baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 15, like mom of the year.
All right, Chelsey, thank you so much. Can y'all see why I just love her? Just love you, Chelsey. Thank you so much. I mean, guys, if this didn't fuel your fire going into the week, into the whole month of November, go get that rank advancement bonus, guys. Keep sharing your story. Don't stop. And I appreciate you so much. Chris, are you on? Can you?
Oh, yeah.
Chelsey, so
Yeah. Let's go, Chelsey.
yeah, with horns. All right, Chelsey. Thank you so much. Go watch your
Thank you for having
Y'all have
me.
a great week. Thank you for hopping on. Good night.
All right, bye, guys.